we're doing something.
You're 30.
When you're younger, now that I'm 30.
Still hot.
Still hot.
I want to be unique. Unique? Damn. Oh my God.
Oh my God, you're so young.
Can I use profanity, please?
That's my bed. The one that comes down from the ceiling.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. The Alicia experience.
Trademark it now.
I already did.
Oh.
Ramble.
Pretty Basic. Thank you to Talo, Rakuten, and Rosetta Stone for sponsoring this episode of Pretty Basic.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Pretty Basic. Today we have a very exciting episode. We literally just landed back from Hawaii around
15 hours ago.
15 hours ago.
Yes.
A lovely midnight. It wasn't a red-eye flight, but we did land at like midnight. I think I went to bed. I had that thought when we land.
Maybe a midnight.
Maybe a midnight.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. So surprisingly, I have some good energy. I'm definitely going to crash later. How about you?
Same. I've been up and at it today. I've been going. I've got the Celsius in me. I'm buzzing. And I'm so excited to be here today to recap your 30th birthday trip.
You guys, I turned 30. It feels so weird because one, I remember being 13, watching 13 going on 30. Okay. Even though I did not get the Razzlers joke.
Razzles.
Razzlers.
Sounds like an NBA team. The Razzlers.
We'll get to that. I remember being younger thinking, oh my God, when I'm 30, I really thought I'd be married with like kids on like a huge like house with a yard. I kind of got the house part, but I didn't really get the husband, the kids, or the huge yard part.
Okay.
You know.
Room to grow.
Room to grow. It's just so weird because I've always pictured like what I thought I would be doing, what I even would look like at 30. And now here I am at that present time. Like you what about you? Growing up, when you thought of 30, like what did you think of?
I never really thought ahead. As I've said before, I'm not really a dreamer. I don't really plan ahead too much, honestly. I just go with the flow.
You know what's hilarious?
But I don't go with the flow, as you know also.
I know. Really? Like 30? You never thought about it?
I think like the only time I've ever thought about being 30 was literally watching 13 going on 30.
Wait, that's hilarious. Also, you mentioned that in one of the recent episodes that you were like, I don't really have many dreams. And so many people felt heard in the comments.
Good.
I skimmed through the comments and so many people were like, oh my God, I thought I was the only one. I've just never really had dreams. And I was like, wow.
It sounds sad, but at the same time, it's such a catch-22 because I feel like on one end, it is kind of sad. Like, you don't have dreams? Like, sad. But then also at the same time, I'm like, well, because I don't have dreams, I'm not setting expectations for myself. So everything is a surprise.
No wonder you're so happy all the time.
I really think that might be a part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, do I overarching broad idea? Do I hope that like all the good things happen? Like for sure. And not all good things happen, but I'm still surprised like by anything that happens.
That's so funny. It's just funny when you get older and you're like, wow, like people are different than me. Meanwhile, I daydream and I'm like, anyways, I've thought of my 30th for like, so I'm like, oh my God, my 30th, I'm going to be so old. I'm going to be so mature. I'm going to be a mother. I mean, my mom, I think she had me, I asked her, I was like, how old were you when you had me? And she said, she was thinking 30 and then she's like, wait, now that I'm doing the math, I think I was 31.
My mom was 31 when she had me.
Really?
Yes.
So it's just weird thinking now I would be pregnant with me. Do you know what I mean?
That's really crazy.
It's weird.
It's really crazy. I mean, every year or anytime like my friends have a kid now, I'm like, oh my God, that could have been me. Mm-hmm. It's just not. It's just not in my cards currently right now.
It's crazy. But shout out to all of the other birthdays. I feel like we've had a lot of Aries birthdays lately. Mm-hmm. At least just people telling me that they also have a birthday. Or even there was actually a lot of people who said they have an April 5th birthday.
I know. I would love to look on, I love like on TikTok where all of the birthdays come up. It's like, or like the most like special birthdays or the most unique birthdays or like these people have like the most common birthday. I'm curious what an April 5th and a February 7th are.
Probably like, I don't know. Do we want to be not popular?
I want to be unique.
Unique. But anyways, we have so much to catch you up on this trip. It was honestly a trip of a lifetime. Like truly, I said it a million times, but thank you so much, Remi, for everything that you did. And like, you're like, what do you mean? I know. No. Okay. You helped planned this, first of all, from the first like get-go. Like you were the one who was like, no, we're doing something for your 30th birthday. This is a big deal. Like you sat me. I was like, no, we don't need to do anything. You're like, no, bitch, we're doing something.
I'm so glad we did.
So from then all the way to like to today, present day, like I just feel like you did so much for prepping and like, and I don't know. I just so much. I just want to say thank you so much.
I love you. And I'm so glad that you had an amazing birthday. That's all I wanted. And I'm also so proud of myself because
Slay.
No, but like for months, I'm like, it has to be perfect. It's her 30th. So I'm just so glad you had a good time because that's all I wanted.
No, you did so well. And literally we were getting ready for, I think, my actual birthday dinner. And I just started crying, laughing. And you're like, what's so funny? And I was saying, it reminded me of when Ollie and I got a limo for you because we wanted to have a special birthday and we were late to everything because we aren't planners.
No, we weren't late. We were extra early.
You're
Which
right.
better to be early than late.
Yeah, you're right.
We did they got me a limo, and at one point we ran through all of the activities so early that we sat outside dinner for 2 hours just waiting.
I was like, we're gonna sit on this beach. We're gonna have a heart to heart. We're gonna enjoy it.
We had a wonderful time.
It was so good.
As you just mentioned before, how as you get older, you're like, oh, people are different than me. Mm-hmm. This trip really showed me that people are different than me.
Guys, yeah, Remi, yeah. But like, I'm so thankful for like the way you work.
Oh, obviously, love you so much, and we'll get into it more later. It is true though. As you get older, you're just like, oh, people tick differently. Mm-hmm. TikTok. Anyways, let's get into your birthday.
So, if you didn't see, I actually uploaded my first vlog this morning. We're back.
Oh,
on
it went
game.
up already?
Yeah, it went
Damn.
up today. It went up today.
Oh my god!
I know. So if you have not seen that, obviously go watch it. We were all vlogging, which low-key made it fun. I without intentionally doing it, it kind of ended up being like an influencer brand trip because I was like, wait, matching sweatsuits would be really fun for the plane on the way there. So we got like light blue sweat sets that we all wore. And it was just funny because I didn't realize how much of a conversation starter that would be.
Yeah.
Everywhere we went, people were like, oh, what's the occasion? Like, what's going on? And then they would say my birthday and everyone would say, happy birthday. How old? 30. Oh my God, 30. Like, it was so much fun. And then we all had our cameras. So I was like, we are so annoying. But it just made it fun because I feel like I haven't had a vacation. I've traveled a lot lately, usually with work and stuff, but especially not having Ashley there. I did invite her. Everyone was like, where's Ashley? I invited her, but she was like, you know what? I honestly need to budget a little bit right now. So I'm going to stay home. I need to watch the dogs anyways, similar to Cal, you know?
Yep.
Same. So it just also felt weird. It was like, it just felt so new and different and weird. Like we went to Maui, like a place I'd never been. I was just with my friends. It wasn't work related. And it just felt different, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to feel special and different. Also, flight there, so smooth.
I hated it.
Why?
It was so bumpy.
Remi.
It was so bumpy, you guys. I was so scared.
Okay, for literally maybe 20 seconds, there was a little bit of turbulence.
I was really nervous. I just don't do well with any turbulence, but I got to sit by the birthday girl and she held my hand.
I did.
But I was really nervous. Hands were sweating. I was scared.
I actually low-key like turbulence. I don't know why.
I mean, I wish I did. I was definitely nervous, but it's okay. We got there safely. I always remember the Anna Paul video of the airplane in Jello.
Yeah.
When there's turbulence, so I try to remember that when it's happening. But it's really hard to remind yourself when you're having a full anxiety attack. But that's okay.
We ended up going to the Four Seasons, and on dead ass, the reason why I chose it was because of White Lotus. Like, I remember thinking, oh my God, it would be so cool to stay there because I've followed Four Seasons Maui like on Instagram for a while now, and then I think they kind of when we had mentioned Hawaii, I was like, oh, somewhere different would be fun. Oh my God, like this place is so bougie, but like, oh my God, let's just try it, So it was really funny. So we were saying we were living our White Lotus fantasy. Oh, we also had hashtags, #Alisha'S Dirty 30 and #Trippin' with Alisha because obviously this was like a brand trip. And we get there, and funny enough, it was me, Remi, Murph, Ollie, and TK. And it was such a good group. Like, honestly, it was so perfect. We get there. I tell everyone to sit down. I'm like, don't worry, guys. I got it. Like, I'll check in. Like, we already had it all figured out. And the original rooms that we wanted weren't available. And at first I was thinking, oh, shoot, because we called and double checked. And they said it would be totally fine, whatever. So we get there and they're just essentially saying like, oh, like, we don't have that available. I'm so sorry. And I was like, okay, it's fine. Like that happens. You know, it's annoying, but it happens. So I'm thinking, why don't we be crazy? Like, oh, Alisha, I'm going to go crazy. Like I just want to hear like, how much is it to upgrade to the next available, you know, room? And especially because we had 2 rooms, it would probably be cheaper or around the same price just to get a bigger suite where we can all sleep, but not have to get 2 separate rooms. So then she's like walking me through the things. It made it a little complicated because we had 5 people versus 4 people. They're like, if you had a kid, then you could probably all squeeze in a suite, but 5 adults, it just doesn't, you know, accommodate that.
So random, but that's why I loved growing up with only one sibling because I feel like it just makes traveling and things easier.
Same.
We, like our closest family friends had 3 kids and it always was so much more expensive for them / way more complicated. I remember specifically going on a cruise ship with them and they had to get this room where one of the beds came from the ceiling for like the 3rd kid. And I just remember I was like 12 and being like, that's really complicated. I'm only going to have 2 kids one day.
Oh my God. I would have been the kid being like, that's my bed. The one that comes down from the ceiling. Yes. So then she says, well, we actually do have this one suite available. And I'm like, no, there's no way. Like, there's no way. She's like, yeah, but it is it's exactly what you're looking for. It has conjoining rooms. It has a really beautiful view of the ocean, Then I'm looking at photos online. I'm like, I think this is the White Lotus suite, the one where Sydney Sweeney and her family stayed in, because it looked so familiar. And I was like, I think that's the suite. I'm like, okay, just for shits and giggles, can you like tell me how much it is? It was a little expensive. So I was like, oof, we can't do that. We can't not do that. So let's go back a few. Let's go back to the motel down the street. No, I'm kidding. So then we're trying to add it all up and then it's taking a while and everyone's like, is everything okay? And I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, I'm just trying to like figure out options. And then Rem comes up. From your point of view, what happens?
Well, you were just taking a long time and I was worried that something was wrong, but I was also busy calling everyone I knew to show them that it was the White Lotus set. I was calling Cal, I was calling my mom, I was like, and then that's where he was, and then that's where he got fucked in the room, and then this is where that, and I was just like showing everyone. We were all making TikToks, and then after like 20 minutes, I was like, oh, I hope everything's okay. And you looked stressed. So then I was like, oh, I'll just go over. So I walked over to find you, and then as I walked up, she was like, talking about the upgrade and I didn't hear the price. I was just like, oh my God, yeah, it's her birthday, let's do it.
You were like, Alisha, you only turned 30 once, just do it, like let's do it, it's so fine. And then I told you the price and you were like, oh.
I don't know about that one. But then I was like, well, we could split it. I was like, again, the way that I for months tirelessly laid up in bed and I was like, I need to make this a good birthday. I was like, we'll split it, let's split it up, you and me. And then she said the price. I was like, oh, love you, girl.
And around that time, I get an email of a work deal. And I was like, oh, is this God? Like, God. Reoccurring theme, God. I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, let's just do it. Anyways, I splurged and I got the suite. We got the suite. Remi very graciously pitched in for it. And it was anything and everything I could have ever wanted.
As long as you had a good time and we were being fiscally responsible.
Yes.
Then I think that it's fine.
I know. I just get weird and awkward. Ugh.
I understand. But I do think like, I mean, we made sure that our finances were in line no matter what level you were spending at. Make sure your finances are in line, and we were able to make it work, and we worked very hard, and we were able to reward ourselves, and you were able to have a good birthday, and that's all that fucking matters.
You're like, be grateful.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
I just wanted you to have a good time.
No,
happy.
it was amazing. I honestly don't even regret it. It was so much fun, which just added to the tripping with Alisha experience because we didn't tell anyone. So we were like, oh my God, let's surprise everybody with this suite. So we walk in, we finally get the keys, we walk in, and everyone's freaking out, and TK just keeps going, why? But what? Why? Like, what's going on? And of course, we're filming them, and they're like, it's your birthday. Like, what's going on? And we're like, no, like, honestly, it was so fun. And then it was crazy because we went to this kitchen area, and we're like, this is where the little brother slept on the cot.
Oh, yeah.
And that I have to say, that is why I called the front desk again, because at first I was like, I'm sure it can fit 5 people. And I was like, are you sure it can't fit 5 people? But I realized I was thinking of the White Lotus where they had 5 people staying there. And I'm like, well, technically they're at a fake hotel. So they're allowed to do that because it's like, you know.
It's not real. They didn't really sleep there.
Literally. And so we check in. We like are freaking out. We have so much fun. We even ran into a guy that worked there. And he was telling us that if you guys didn't even see this first season of White Lotus. This may feel irrelevant to you, but it was a very popular show on HBO Max. So good. And obviously they shot it at the Four Seasons in Maui. But he was telling us that they shot it in most of like 2020. So it was like lockdown. They were in a little bubble. It wasn't even open to the public. And because of that, since he worked there, like he was an extra and he was in the background a lot and stuff. And it was so weird hearing him just like talk about it. You could tell he was like so proud. He's like, yeah, I'm in it. And I was like, wait, that's
I was
so
like,
cool.
what episode, what time? He was
Yes.
like, episode 3, 20 minutes and 30 seconds. I was like, perfect. I'll look for you.
No, absolutely obsessed. And it was really cool seeing the exact spots. Like when you first walked into the left, that's where the main guy, was he the manager, hotel manager? He would stand there a lot. And it was just so weird seeing it.
And what's interesting is that's the concierge desk, but they made it look like the
front desk.
check-in. Yeah. So I thought it was interesting and like seeing where they ate breakfast.
I kind of get it though, because there's more room and the lighting just like fit better. To get both angles and stuff.
I agree. I think also it's just so fun seeing things in real life that you see on TV. Like I love when people shoot in LA or downtown. If there's like a cityscape, which of course there's always like that one B-roll clip that everybody uses. I'm like, I pause and I try to look for my apartment complex.
Yes.
Or like if you go to Pepperdine where they filmed Zoe 101, you're like,
God.
they sat here, they've walked through this way. It's so much fun.
It was also interesting because the premise of White Lotus is it follows multiple guests on their stories and things. And I was thinking the whole time we were there, I was like, wow, like this is what it was like for the quote characters. Like we're living the White Lotus experience right now. Even going down to the pool, seeing where Sydney Sweeney, I forget the other actress's name, who was her friend in it.
Yes, I don't know.
They're sitting at these pool chairs and you saw the swim up bar in the back. And while we're sitting at the swim up bar, we were like, oh my God, that's where they sat while they were reading their books. And it was just really interesting. So I absolutely loved it.
Have you ever been rejected? Not by a crush, though that also sucks. I'm talking about applying for college or a job.
Confession, I definitely have, and it's extremely horrible. It's like, hello, have you met me? I'm amazing.
See, that's kind of the problem. These college administrators and employers haven't met you. They don't know how incredible you are, and they don't have a way to find out. That's why I love this digital portfolio platform called Tallo. Tallo shows the real you.
With Tallo, you can create a free profile to showcase your skills and abilities. I'm talking class projects, test scores, hobbies, clubs, athletics, volunteer, and work experience. You can even upload a video about yourself.
I love this. I remember this is truly something that I struggled with when I was in high school applying for colleges was when they're only looking at a list, whether it's
on
just
paper,
your grades or your ACT score, your SAT score, or even if it's like including your list of extracurriculars, it's so hard to make you pop off the pages. So this sounds absolutely amazing. And after you make a profile, Tallo matches you with the colleges, scholarships, internships, and job opportunities based on your unique interests and aspirations. Employers and college recruiters also use Tallo to connect with young talent every day.
So go ahead and create your free profile with Tallo. That's Tallo. Visit tallo.com/prettybasic to get started.
I have been a Rakuten user for so incredibly long.
Yeah.
For years. And I remember like maybe a year ago or so, my mom and my aunt both were like, oh my God, talking about this, like something that they loved so much. They're like, oh, well, did you use this? Well, did you use that? And I was like, what are you guys talking about? And they were like, we just found this thing called Rakuten. And it really stuck with me because I was like, you guys are years late. Rakuten is an absolute game changer. If you guys don't know what it is, it's an online shopping platform that rewards you for shopping. Rakuten gives you cash back when you shop at thousands of brands across almost every category, from apparel to home essentials to shoes to literally anything that you need. You go onto Rakuten and you just click the link. It takes you directly to the store's website and you do your shopping like you normally would, but because of their partnership with the brands, you get money back for doing what you were exactly going to do before.
Basically, you get rewarded for shopping. Some of those stores include Walmart, Nike, Levi's, Urban Outfitters. Like there's good.
Macy's. If you're already shopping on Macy's, use it through Rakuten, save some money. Save even more money.
Sephora, Fenty Beauty, like seriously, they're good stores and ones that you probably already shop at. So you might as well get points for them.
Also, the membership is free and it's easy to sign up. Rakuten deposits your cash back directly into your PayPal account or can send you a check. Any shopping that I do online, if it's on Rakuten, I use it. You might as well just check. If they don't have it, then shop normally. But if they do, and they most likely do, why not?
Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. Go to Rakuten.com now or download the Rakuten app today. That's Rakuten. I kept thinking of Jennifer Coolidge like the whole time. And did you see there was actually a guest who kind of looks like her?
No.
There was a guest who kind of looked like her, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. This is crazy.
I love it.
Tanya.
The gays, they're trying to kill me.
So it was so much fun, and it did feel weird because obviously the show is talking about how everyone's on different life stories and going through different things. And I just felt like, I was like, wow, we're here for my birthday. Someone else could be here for, maybe they just got divorced and they're on their own trip trying to like decompress after that. There's a whole bunch of kids around, like people, maybe they just had a kid. There were people on their, having like a baby moon. Like there were a lot of like pregnant women around, and I was loving it. It was so cute.
There's such like I always experience that phenomenon. I forget what it's called, but personally for me, when I'm on a stoplight and you see someone crossing the road and you're like, they have their own complete life and their own problems, their own things going on. Like I'll probably never see them again. I always have that like phenomenon every once in a while. And I feel like that was the epitome of that.
I think that all the time.
Yeah. There's a word for it. I don't know what it is.
Is there? Oh my God. So yeah, birthday, great. One thing I really wanted to do was journal and have a little deep moment because I love my journaling. So the day before my 30th, I wrote like a journal entry, and it was basically a letter to my 20s, kind of saying goodbye. This is a recurring thing on this podcast where I talk about me writing like journaling and letters and stuff. And it was so funny because Rem and we go in. TK and I were like, yeah, journaling is like so therapeutic for the soul, and it's just like helped me grow and all these things. And Ollie's agreeing. He's like, yes, oh my gosh, I brought my journal too. TK's like, I brought my journal too. And then finally Murph and Rem are just sitting there.
So they're going on and on about how much they love journaling, which nothing against it. I'm open to whatever people want to do on their own personal journey, but I'm personally not a journaler. And so they're just going on and on and on about how great it is. And Murph and I are just we're sitting together and we're just quiet. And then finally, like there's a lull in the conversation. I look at Murph and I go, so do you journal? And he goes, no. And I was like, me either.
He was like, oh God, no. It was so funny. So, but needless to say, I ended up having my journaling moment. I should have brought it so I just could have read it essentially, but I did write like a letters to my 20s, and it was so weird because normally for your birthday you just think of the past year. I was trying to think of the past decade. I was sitting there like, wow, like really think back to 20, like, when you were 19 turning 20, where were you at in life? What was going on? So I went back and found photos of me during that time, and it was so trippy because when you're younger, now that I'm 30, when you're younger, I always hate when people make me feel young, like I don't know what's going on, like, oh, you're such a baby, or oh, like, wow, you're so young. But even when you're 18, when you're 18, you're 19, someone says, oh my God, you're such a baby, and it kind of triggers you, or just me, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not a baby, like I'm 18 clearly. But now looking back at my 19/20-year-old self, all I kept thinking of was, wow, you were who you were without knowing who you are. Does that make sense? Like, at that time, I thought I knew who I was, but I didn't because I was still figuring it out. It's just so interesting how now I can relate to looking back at someone who's 20 thinking, oh my God, you're so young. Because I used to take it as a negative thing, thinking that it was condescending and they were talking down to me. And now I just like, I don't know, looking at my 20-year-old self, I really thought I was so old. I was this adult in the world. I knew how my life was going to play out. I knew, my dreams, my goals, etc., like my life plan. And now I feel like a completely different person being 30 in 2 days. I'm kidding.
I think it's just funny how when you're in your late teens, early 20s, you feel so old and so mature and you're such an adult. But I feel younger now than I did back then.
That's what I was saying. Now I low-key feel younger in a way because I think, I'm just aware. I don't know. Why
I think it's
is
perspective. I think it's humility. I think it's a lot of things.
Yeah, it's just so interesting. So now, catch me be that person who's like, oh my God, you're so young. I'm literally going to be that person.
So many more years.
But in my journaling, I kind of wrote many things. So one, I looked back at a photo of myself, which highly recommend that. Obviously, do it at any age, any time. But it was very trippy. It was so trippy. So I was trying to think of things that happened in my early 20s. A lot of it was, traveling, even thinking back to like this whole past decade, the amount of like amazing, wonderful opportunities I've been able to do or like places I've gone and traveled. It was really weird because I even thought back, like maybe in 30 years, I'm going to look back and that's what my 20s were. You know, like now being able to kind of close that book and chapter and look back and be like, wow, so that's what my 20s were. Like I can fully describe my 20s from YouTube, traveling. Like that's when my channel even really took off. Like even though I started when I was a teenager, it really didn't take off until then. Like the career, like amazing, like the meetups that we've had, like the crazy opportunities. So in one way I was like, wow, maybe my 30s will be completely different. And that was kind of just that chapter. And it felt weird. And I just felt so emo, like, because I was just so grateful for everything. And I was like, I don't know why me. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know how I'm here in this suite looking at this beautiful view. Like, I remember thinking my 30s, again, I would be settled down, have 2 kids, 3 dogs, probably, well, now like 4 wieners, 4 dachshunds. Also, what was so trippy was I was trying to think of a word that I wanted to bring with me into my 30s. And I'm sitting there, nothing's coming to me, like nothing, absolutely nothing. Sit there for a little longer, still nothing's coming to me. So I literally wrote, I'm trying to think of a word to bring it with me into my 30s. ... 10 minutes go by, still can't think of anything. No worries, I know it's gonna come to me. That's it. Moved past that. Continue writing. And honestly, it just was me being very grateful. I was like, wow, like I'm very grateful for my life and everything, and being with my best friends in Hawaii. I felt so loved. And I just, not that I ever want to be a bother to people, but especially my birthday, I just feel like there's always so much going around on this time of year, between traveling and festivals and other birthdays. There's just so many. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to bother anyone by like doing something. I know that sounds so weird, but on the flight over, I had my moment because I texted you guys like on the plane. I was like, guys, like, thank you for coming. Like it meant so much. It meant just to come with me. Like, I know that sounds lame, but like, I was so grateful. Just like, I don't know. So anyways, so I'm journaling and it's super good. We have our day. We thrived.
Oh my God. Yeah. We had so much fun.
Who you saw?
I didn't see. And I'm still upset.
I saw.
I know everybody else saw and I didn't see. I don't know why, but I kept my eyes on the ground this whole trip. I don't know what was going on, but we walked by someone and there were like 2 people walking towards me, and then I was like walking in between them almost, and I didn't want to split them, so I ran to the right, and then we walked by and then everyone goes, Remi, did you see who that was? And I was like, no. Who? Mindy Kaling, who, if you guys know me, I love. The Mindy Project is like my favorite show of all time. I watch every project of hers. I've read every book of hers. I've listened to her Audible special. Like, I love her. And then I was like, you know what? It's fine, because I was trying to convince myself that it was okay. And I was like, you know what? Maybe she would have been really mean anyways. And you know, they say don't meet your idols. And then all my friends from home text me photos being like, oh, Remi, Mindy's in Maui. You have to take photos with her. Like, she was taking photos with everyone. Everyone in their comments were like, she was so nice. She was the most gracious person. And I didn't have the heart to tell them that I missed it. So I was like, I'll look for her.
No, what's so sad is I distinctly remember seeing that group of people because it was her and a few other people. I didn't know it was her, but I remember seeing her dress because it was like rainbow. It was really pretty. And I think everyone in our group but you saw her.
I
know. You love her.
If you ask like anytime they're like, who's your dream guest on this podcast? Mine's Mindy Kaling.
Oh, they know. They hear you say it.
One day she'll come, but I manifested that for your birthday. No, so you're welcome.
I wish I manifested it for you, but you didn't see.
That's okay. It's fine. That just means we're going to have a very special moment one day.
Also, we're walking and we get out of the elevator and one of the hottest guys I think I've ever seen walks past. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, wait, isn't that the guy from This Is Us? I was like, oh my God, I think that's him.
Oh.
It wasn't. It was some quarterback.
Oh, it was Matthew Stafford.
And I was like, damn it. Because I thought it was, but obviously, you know. But
still hot.
Still hot. But it was just funny because TK was like, do you know who that was? And I was like, oh my God, yes. It was what's his name? Justin something. She's like, no. I'm like, you know, when you're so excited to be like, yes, I know who that was. Like, I know their name. And so just being a bandwagon person, like, oh my God, yeah. When you don't. Anyways, that happened. There were it was really packed. I didn't realize it was still a lot of people's spring breaks.
Yeah, it was very packed. We, on the first day, get down to the beach. And before the trip, I had asked you, like, what do you want to do? Can I help plan anything? And I was like, okay, well, I'll totally book the rental car. And then after we spoke a little bit more, we realized that maybe would have been a waste of money because you're like, oh, I just want to stay on the property the whole time. I was like, perfect. Then we don't have to waste money on a car or on valet or parking or anything like that. Like, we'll save so much money by doing that. And then we get down to the beach on the first day. And I was like, so what do you want to do? And you're like, well, I want to go to this beach. I want to do this. And I want to go here. And I want to go there. And I'm like, okay. And I call the concierge. I'm like, how do we get around? Like, how do I acquire a car? And she's like, oh, well, where do you want to go? And I was like, well, Alicia really wants to go to this specific beach. And she's like, okay, well, we can like call you a taxi or you can Uber. But once you get down there, you lose all service. So you won't be able to get back. And I was like, awesome. So,
and I was like, awesome.
That's super great. What do we do after that? She was like, I don't know, like you could schedule it. And I was like, this is absolutely no help. Thank you so much. And then I started to spiral because I was like, oh my God, we don't have a plan. And she wants to do these things. And I don't know what to do.
So much sense. Cause I could tell you were like trying to make a plan, but I didn't realize you were putting it on your shoulders to do it.
I was putting it on my shoulders so that you would have a good time / also I can't go someplace and not have a plan.
No, I knew that.
But I was trying to be cool because it's your birthday.
Yes.
I was really trying.
You were like, okay, so like, what do you want? I was like, I don't know, just like maybe like we can go to a hike, go to a waterfall or something. And you're like, okay. But like, and now it makes so much sense.
But if you want to go on a hike to a waterfall, you have to figure out where the waterfall is.
I know, but in my head, I was like, we have 4 days. Like we can go one of the days.
I feel like I've learned if you don't plan it like right in the beginning, then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, well, she wants to do it, so we need to make sure we plan that into the schedule.
No,
and
it makes
then
so much sense.
All the waterfalls were on the other side of the island, so we didn't make it to a waterfall.
Yeah, we didn't want to do the road to Hana. I really would love to one day, but I know it's like a very 3-hour.
I'm gonna set that one out.
Someone did say a helicopter is ideal to get there. And I was like, but isn't the whole point to like drive?
I mean, it must just be beautiful to see from an aerial view.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, in the end, we got things planned and it was all good. But that was my moment where I was like, okay, so we're all different and that's okay.
All different.
And it's your birthday trip, so I wasn't going to be annoying about it. But I also wanted you to do everything you wanted to do.
Oh my God, no, you weren't annoying at all.
Okay, good. Thank God.
But for me, that's what I'm just that type of person too, where I just want to do what everyone wants to do. Like genuinely, like there wasn't anything I was dying specifically to do other than go to the beach and go to the pool. Like those were the only 2 things that I was like, this is something we have to do. Other than like restaurants, everything else, I was like, no, I'm happy to be here. Whatever majority wants.
No one gets to say it's your birthday.
I know, but I don't like that because I don't want to be like, oh, I'm down to go to this restaurant, and then everyone's like, okay, we're going, and I'm like, wait, are you just saying that because I want to? Because I just want to do what we all want to do.
I think on a normal trip, yes, but on your birthday trip, we all were just like, we want you to do what you want to do, and we're here to support.
I get it, because when it's your birthday, I'm like, no, it's what you want to do.
See?
I get it. I do get it. But yes, I felt myself being annoying to you because I was like, oh, I don't care. I just want to have fun and do what people want to do. So I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I'm glad you had a fun time.
That was amazing.
I am so excited about this sponsorship, you guys. I know we all know what Rosetta Stone is.
We do.
I feel like I remember the TV commercial when I was young. I have been wanting to learn a new language for a very long time. I'm going to Japan in a few weeks, so it's definitely not enough time to learn Japanese, but I, as we all know, love K-pop, and I'm going to Korea soon, and I also just want to be able to like talk to my grandma more, and I've been really wanting to learn Korean, and I have always struggled with learning new languages. I barely can get English into my head, so I think Rosetta Stone is a perfect way to start learning Korean. If you guys don't know what Rosetta Stone is, it's the expert in language learning for 30 years, and an award-winning app where you can learn anytime, anywhere. As I said, I would love to, use my Korean skills, whether I'm listening to New Jeans or talking to my grandma or ordering. I wish I could go to a Korean restaurant and order in Korean. I would love that so much.
There's 25 languages, from Spanish, French, Italian, German, Korean, Chinese, Japanese. There's so many. I took 3 years of Spanish in high school, and I'm very embarrassed and sad to say I don't remember a lot of it. So I would love to brush up some of my Spanish skills.
Taking on a whole new language is really scary, but you can do it in bite-sized pieces so you can learn and make real progress in as little as 10 minutes at a time.
It also practices you for real life. It goes beyond just learning vocab. It focuses on speaking practices, pronunciation with their true accent feature, and so much more. There's also no tedious memorization needed. It's super immersive and just intuitive learning.
So whether you want to learn a brand new language or you want to brush up on one maybe that you learned in high school or whatever that may be, they are absolutely great because there's multiple uses for it.
So for a limited time, our listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime unlimited subscription, which gives you access to all 25 of their languages forever. That's 40% off. Visit rosettastone.com/basic today.
Rosetta Stone, how language is learned.
One plan that actually ended up happening was because of you also. So I am very grateful for you being a planner.
I loved it, you guys. I was so excited. So when Alicia initially said that she wanted to go to Maui, I was like, okay, well, we have to go to Mama's Fish House. It's this amazing restaurant, like by far one of the most famous restaurants. I feel like one of the most for sure on the island. And I feel like maybe even within the whole state, like it is so well known. And you know, if you go, I looked on their website, actually, they start taking reservations a year in advance. Like that's how far you have to book if you want to go.
Oh my God,
because
I didn't know
it's
that.
so popular and so delicious.
Also, I told a few people we were going to Maui and they all said you have to go to Mama's Fish House.
It's to die for. I remember going as a kid, but I obviously didn't appreciate it as a child, and now I'm so upset at my poor dad paying for dinner when I probably got something like nah.
Or you're like, yeah, I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't want fish. And now I'm like, oh, I would give a limb to go tonight.
It was so good.
I was so excited, but because we were kind of planning kind of last minute, and you know, it was booked out for a year. We weren't able to get a reservation. And then finally on the morning, or a couple of days before your birthday, we were like, okay, let's just ask absolutely anyone we can that might have a connection. Mm-hmm. And my publicists that I work with are fantastic and they work in the food space. And so I was like, if anyone's going to have a connect, it's got to be them. So I texted them, shout out Roddy, shout out Colin. And I was like, hi guys, I really want to go take to Alicia to Mama's Fish House for her birthday. I know it's super crazy with reservations. If we could get a reservation at all, please let me know. Like we will make any day, anytime, we will make it work.
Breakfast.
we'll stay there overnight if you want us to. And so they replied in like an hour and they're like, yep, they've got it on 4/5, your birthday at 5:30 p.m. And I was like, amazing. So we went, and you guys, when you walk in, it's like they have their own private beach essentially. And it was so nostalgic for me. All my like childhood memories came back, and basically their whole shtick is obviously it's a fish house, and they literally catch the fish that you eat that morning from whether it's like within the islands or somewhere like around the area. And they literally, like the fish that I had for dinner, they had caught off the Big Island that morning.
When I tell you, it was one of the best meals I've ever had.
I'm so happy.
I got the short rib and I got the surf and turf, short rib and lobster tail.
Yes.
Best lobster I've ever had in my life. Ever.
It was like the Tristan lobster tail or something where they like caught it from like a really like small island or something. Like it was wild. I got the kanpachi, which I don't know what that is, what kind of fish that is, but it was stuffed with crab and lobster. Like it was luxury.
It was so good. It was so
delicious. Good. It was so good. And the whole time I was so nervous. So I knew I wanted to get you something special for your birthday this year, obviously, because it was your big 3-0. And again, tossing and turning, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to get you. And finally, I thought about getting you something just nice that will last a lifetime. So I ended up deciding to get her some nice jewelry. And I decided on, I know you and Mia already had your Cartier love ring, so I didn't want to get you another love ring, obviously.
Well, she threw hers.
Oh, but you still have yours.
I was like, bitch, sell that shit. Get money for that.
Go pawn it. But I didn't want to get you that one, obviously, because you already have one. But I love the Justin Clue.
Wait, do you remember you got me this one?
Huh? I got you a ring. Did I get you a love ring? I did?
Yeah.
When?
The thin one. It was like my... It's for a memory to last a lifetime.
The way that I have the worst memory. I got you a Cartier ring already?
Yeah, this one.
Alicia Marie, when?
I think it was 2018.
Shut up.
Or 2019.
Did I get one for myself? What dude?
I think you did. It's so funny.
Well,
No.
So because I already got you one before, I thought it'd be really special to get you another.
No, this one is very different. Very different.
I had no idea.
No, I almost didn't say anything because I was like, I don't know if she'll want me to say it. And I was like, wait.
This whole time.
Remember the other day you were like, oh, don't you have another one here? Remember?
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, yeah.
Was that the one you would wear?
It's literally the one you got me.
The way I have no recollection of ever buying you that.
Remember you got me the presents? You remember when you got me that one present? That was a good present.
Oh,
yeah.
That was that day. I put that in the box?
Well, it wasn't in the box.
Well, not that box. I put that like in the basket.
The ring?
Yeah.
No. You were like, and then here's one last one.
No recollection of that.
It's on a vlog somewhere.
Anyways, so because that was such a special moment for us, I wanted to relive it again. And before I left, I was like, I want to get her something special. And so my aunt gave me the Justin Clue. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that. I don't speak French, but the little nail bracelet from Cartier, and I love it so much. And you were always like, it's so cute. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get her the ring. So I tracked it down via Cartier. They were like sold out everywhere.
Oh my God.
And they were like, oh, we're able to ship it from Canada. We have one left in like the world, but in that size, but it won't arrive till like today essentially. And I was like, that's not going to work. Sorry. So I was able to finesse and we found one. Thank God. Shout out to, I think her name was Nadi. She was very nice. And we found it, and I had the actual physical box, and then I wanted to like surprise you on your real birthday, but your birthday was like the last day of the trip, so I had it burning in my I packed it in my suitcase, and I was like, oh my God, I can't forget this. Packed it in my, not my suitcase, because just in case it got lost, I didn't want to lose it, so I put it in my backpack. And then you and I went through security together, and I had this whole idea. I was like, oh my God, this is how people feel when they propose. Oh my God. And I was so worried that the security at TSA was going to like pull it and be like, what is this? Because I put it in the box, and then I put it in a lens case carrier, because I was like, oh my God, she's going to look at my backpack, which you never would. Like, check it.
But no, but also, what if even when I looked through your luggage, being like, hey, can I borrow?
Yeah, thank God I didn't I put it in the thing. I was like, she probably won't check this. And I almost thought to put it in the safe, even in the hotel, but I was too lazy to do that. So I just left it.
Oh my God.
So then I put it through. Luckily, like you know how like when your bag is going through security and it stops because they're like, they stopped later on down the line, but you think it's yours, and it's like at the place where it might shoot forward. Yep. It got stopped, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And you were standing there with me, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then they pushed it through. Thank God, no issues. I imagined the TSA agent being like pulling out like, what's this? Yeah. In like the red box. Yeah. And so then we got to the hotel, and everything was fine. What you would have done.
I could see you being like screaming like, yeah.
No, I would have freaked out. I would have been like, can you go get me a water bottle?
Yeah.
And so then, yeah, everybody knew about it. They were all so excited, and I was trying to figure out how to give it to you. And I was like, I want to do something like silly, but also like sweet, and like sentimental, but I wasn't sure what exactly. I was like, maybe I'll give it to you the morning of your birthday. Maybe I'll give it to you at dinner. Maybe I'll give it to you like on the beach at dinner, whatever. And so time goes on, your birthday rolls around, and Ollie and I were the ones that physically brought gifts, and Murph and TK's were too big to bring. So Ollie and I are like, oh, like, yeah, I go to Ollie, I'm like, do you want to give it to her for in the morning? And he's like, I'm not going after you. So we decided to give it to you at dinner, and then I turn around and he's giving you your gift at breakfast. And I was like, why are you going now? And he's like, I just wanted to do it now. So I was like, okay, I guess it's just me then. So we go to dinner. We have the most amazing experience. Oh, also beforehand, I was like, she needs a cake, obviously. It's her 30th birthday.
It was one of the best cakes I've ever had.
I called every bakery on the island of Maui, figuring out who would deliver a special cake. And I finally found, shout out to Cake Fanatics in Maui. They were so nice. The first lady that helped me was not nice, so I did not give her business. She was very rude to me. Cake Fanatics, so sweet. And they were like, what kind of cake do you want? I was like,
they have Instagram?
Yes.
Okay, because I posted the cake, and I was like, oh, I should tag them.
Oh yeah, Cake Fanatics, giving them lots of business. Okay. And so they were like, I was like, oh, I really want to give her like, you know, like a heart shape, like those like viral Pinterest cakes. And she was like, oh yeah, we do tons of those. And I was like, perfect. And she's like, what do you want to write on it? And I was like, can I use profanity, please? And she started laughing. She's like, of course. I was like, can you write, bitch, you're 30? And she's like, okay. And then they delivered it, and they delivered it while you were getting ready for dinner. And I was trying to figure out how to get it into the fridge while you were in the shower. And I ran out, and there was a man setting up all the stuff from your manager, and the cake was there. And I was like, ah! And I was like, can I take this? And he was like, sure.
That makes sense, because you're like,
I was being frantic.
Yes.
I was being frantic.
Oh my God.
I'm not good under these situations. And so I ran out, and he was just in the living room, but I didn't know he was there. And I was like, can I take this cake? He was like, yeah. So I like ran the cake to the fridge, and he set up everything really cute. And then when you got out of the shower, you had no idea. And then we took the cake to dinner, and we're having dinner, and I got really drunk. Did you get drunk?
My stomach kind of hurt that day. So I feel like I was like No, at one point I was drunk. So I remember saying, "Oh no, I'm not that drunk," and then
it hits,
it hit me, and I was like, "Damn!"
I got drunk at dinner. Those drinks were delicious. I recommend the guava fizz drink there.
I got the strawberry one, right? Or is it the same thing?
Strawberry guava? The guava, yes. And then they brought out your cake, and our server Mike was fantastic, and he was so sweet,
amazing.
Loved Mike, and he was like living for your cake. The whole staff were all living for your cake, and we did the candles. And I was gonna give you the ring at dinner, but the whole thing was like, he's like, you have to get down on one knee because it's so funny. Like you have to like propose to her as like your best friend. And I was like, okay, but then I was worried if I did it at dinner, people would think it was like a real proposal. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I waited till after dinner, and then again, it's like on this private beach. So I was like, I'd love to just like chat, you and I.
You're so cute.
One-on-one, and like just and like talk. And then everybody really wanted to see me give you the ring though. So they all were like, tell us when you're ready and we'll come over. And they all like sat like 50 feet away on this little bench. The three of them like in the dark shadows, just waiting for me to be like, we're done. And I was, again, as I said, I was drunk, so it was like lots of just like a Remi moment.
It was my favorite Remi moment.
I was like, I gave her a hug, and I was just like, I love you so much, and I'm just so blessed to have you in my life, and I've never had a friendship like this ever in my life before. And I think back to it's like real, but it's funny because I was just drunk, so I was just saying
started laughing. I've texted you this.
It's just so funny. I said, I quote, and I mean this, but it came out really badly. And I was just like, I'm so grateful for you. I never could have even imagined having a friendship like this in my life, and we're hugging and we're crying. And I was like, it's just so crazy because I think back to friendships that I've had in the past, and it's so funny how I thought I was happy. And I don't mean that in a mean way. No. It's just, it is funny. I mean, like, obviously I have so many amazing friends in my life, but just like a friendship like this is something like to run a business together, to experience everything that we've experienced together. Like, I've never gone through this with someone in my life.
And to clarify, again, we're both drunk, and right after you say that, both of us cry laughing because like we heard it and we're like, wait, that does sound so sad.
So mean.
But it was so, but we were,
you know what I meant.
No,
I was just like even like friendships in the past, like what people that have come and gone, I'm like, it's so funny, like those friendships, and at one point I was very happy.
No, I just it's funny because you're seeing it as like, no, like they were my friends, and I'm like, no, it was just hilarious because you're like, I just didn't know I was happy.
No, I thought I was happy.
So
you know what it is?
I thought I was happy.
I did. I hit my happy threshold back then, but little did I know I had so much more room to be happy.
Well, that's what I told you during our heart to heart. I was like, I had a puzzle piece Remi in me, and I didn't know I did until it's just like when I was 20 and I thought I was so mature, Yeah. I knew who I was then without realizing who I wasn't yet.
Well, you just don't. How do you know that what you're missing if you've never experienced it?
Yes. Okay. Deep moment. Anyone who's listening who feels like they haven't found their friend group or a best friend or anything, one, that is so normal to feel.
I was always the odd one out in a friendship group. For a large part of my life, I didn't have a best friend.
See, and Ashley honestly was very similar. Like, like she had multiple. I feel like I always had like a best friend, but we felt very, like I didn't have like a group of like my friends,
Yeah.
And it's so easy to think like, oh, I'm never going to find that. Or, these group of girls don't want to be my friend. And you feel like you're the one just kind of getting like pushed to the side or whatever. But if this can just give you a little hope, like genuinely, we're at dinner. I start crying because everyone goes around in a circle and is telling me things that like they love about me, which I know I'm an Aries. You think I love it. I actually I love it, but like, I don't like that type of attention, but like, I love it, but I don't love it. You know what I mean?
Your tenacity and will to live. That was all I kept saying that.
I loved it. I seriously felt so much love from all of you guys. And I knew it was so mutual because even the nights leading up to my birthday, everyone kind of we started doing this thing where we would pick one person. We'd say things we love about that person. And I loved watching and witnessing that and being a part of that. Cause I was like, this is just so rare because anyone else, like, I love how we're lifting up everyone else, even though it's like my birthday. You know what I mean? I know that kind of sounds weird too.
No. Yeah.
I was just like, wow, I love how supportive we all are of each other. Like no other friend group, I feel like, goes on someone's birthday vacation and then focuses on each person. And we're just like lifting each other up. And it felt so good and mature and just real, like not fake. And even though, you know, we have, you know, we're all vlogging and getting photos and stuff too, like knowing that our friendship is real out like first versus everything else that, you know, filming and being like on socials and stuff, just meant so much to me. And we're going around to each person. But I told everyone, I was like, no, we're not doing me until my birthday, because that makes way more sense. So on my birthday, everyone's going around and like I start crying, and finally I do my speech to everyone. And I was thinking back to my 20-year-old self, because obviously I just journaled that day to my 20-year-old self. And I had my one good, super close best friend from high school. But other than that, I didn't have many friends. I think I just met Mia at this time in my life. I know, insane. And I remember like praying for friends, like even knowing that I haven't even met all of the people I'm going to love in my life yet. You know, obviously we always think romantically, but I remember being like 18, 19 and thinking, wow, my best friends are still out there and I haven't even met them yet. Like even to this day, I'm going to have other friends who like I just haven't met yet. Our paths haven't crossed yet. And I remember feeling so like lonely then, even when Ashley and I first moved out to our first apartment. You know, we really didn't know anyone. We hadn't met Taryn. We hadn't met anyone. And it felt very lonely. And I just remember even then thinking, okay, like that was around that time when I was thinking, okay, like, you know, they're out there and you're going to meet them, and just like, don't stress about it, you know? So then we're at my 30th birthday dinner. I'm crying because everyone's like telling me stuff. And I was like, guys, oh my God. Then I start crying even more. And I just say, I distinctly remember knowing that I would meet my friends. And it's so weird how we're here and you were them and I didn't know back then. And it's just so crazy. Like I literally was so emo when I was like crying. And I was just like, this is so special to me, because it's almost like I blinked and now I'm here. And I don't even know how it happened. Even like the fact that I met Murph through you and you guys went to elementary, like that's just so random. And like TK worked for me. I just like one day needed a videographer. And I was like, hey, that TK girl, like we kind of know each other. And then even Ollie, like I never thought I'd be so close to Ollie. And it was such a like serendipitous moment of like, wow, life is so beautiful and amazing at times when like you look at those things. So I just had to say to anyone who feels like they haven't found their friends yet, because I know it's such a struggle and it's really hard and it's very lonely, you haven't met them yet. And if you feel like you're in that group and you're getting pushed to the side, like those just aren't your people. You know what I mean? Like your people are out there, and just, I don't know. That's my little speech that's my TED Talk today.
No, I teared up just now. Also, like I think about my mom, because obviously I just idolize her and also look to her for a lot of inspiration. And she's currently in Korea and will be there for a month and a half with her two best friends, both of which she met when I was a kid, because they had kids similar age. Like one of them was in my first grade class. The other one we met at church, like, but all because we were like in the kids club and things like, and now they're her best friends and have been for decades. Like even you and I'm sure we'll meet friends when we have kids one day and, you know, take them to whatever daycare, church, whatever it may be, school. So I just think it's so cool. And I've never thought about it in that way. But what you said made me think about my mom. And I was like, oh my God, she's literally on a trip right now with her besties.
No, it's crazy. See, like, this is my brain thinking the future all the time. But like, it is really beautiful and cool. So that was me being really emo. We have an amazing dinner. My ring is stunning, Remi.
I got down on one knee.
She got down on one knee. She asked me if I would be her best friend forever. And I said, yes.
I can't believe I got you a ring before.
I forgot to say this earlier, but the morning of my actual birthday, I happened to wake up super early. One, because of the time change, it's 3 hours ahead or behind. So even if it was 6 a.m. there, it was only 9 a.m. in LA, what we're used to. So even though I was like, oh my God, wake up so early. Like I'm so productive. In reality, I'm still sleeping in at home, you know, with the time change. But I wake up really early. It was like 6 something. And I was just wide awake. So I was like, oh my God, it's my birthday. Like, let's go sit out on the patio and the deck and enjoy it. I'll make coffee. I walk out. The whole living room is decorated. It's like 30. There's streamers everywhere. And I was like, oh, I ruined the surprise. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. So then I was like, damn it. Like, okay, it's okay. We're just going to sneak by. We won't tell anything. Like, no one will know. And then I hear Ollie go, hello. I was like, what? And he turned and he's like sitting there with like his face mask on, like going to start getting glam, because I didn't know it takes him that long to start getting glam. And he's like, go back to sleep. I was like, I didn't mean to say. He was like, go back to sleep. I was like, sorry. But I was like, I already made my coffee. So grabbed my coffee, sat on the balcony. And then I was like, you know what? I should FaceTime my mom. I haven't really talked to her recently. So I was like, okay, it's my birthday. It's her. Damn it. Every year I usually send her flowers on my birthday.
Oh, that's sweet.
I forgot.
That's okay. Send her them now.
Mom, I'm so sorry I didn't send you flowers. 30 years ago, you were in intense labor because of me. And I just want to say thank you for bringing me to the world. Anyways, I'll still send them. Damn it.
That's really sweet, though. I like that idea.
So I'm FaceTiming my mom, flipping through my journal, and I flip to a page that caught my attention because it said my memoir or something. I was like, what the hell? Like, what is this? So hang up with my mom. I'm like, okay, bye, I love you, whatever. Sorry. Okay, bye, I love you. Hang up. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few months ago, I remember seeing a TikTok kind of around the new year, and it was saying how to manifest like your perfect year. And what you should do is basically write a letter as if it's December 2023, explaining how your year was. And I did that exercise. So as I'm reading it, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I did that little exercise. So one, it was just trippy and weird reading because I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. We're already 4 months in. We're almost halfway through the year. It's a different take on New Year's resolutions, essentially. I keep reading and I see my word for 2023 was B, like B-E, not B-E-E, just B-E.
Thank you. Save the bees.
Save the bees. And that's another day of saving the bees. And I sat there and I was like, holy shit. Yesterday I was trying to think so hard of what my word was for this year, and I couldn't think of anything. I knew it would come to me. I'm sitting here. The only reason why I'm flipping through my notebook is because I was FaceTiming my mom and I was just kind of like playing with it. And I opened to that page, which caught my attention, and I see my word for 2023 was B. And I remember, and I keep reading and it's saying, I just want to, whatever it is, I want to be present. I want to be forgiving. I want to be patient. I want to be loving. Like, you know, whatever it is I'm doing is like being 100% with that. Like when I'm with my friend, and even in Hawaii, I was like, you know, instead of just sitting here scrolling on my phone, like put it down and just be, like, enjoy, like be still, like, and I don't know, it just like hit me, and I had like such a cool moment. And then I even said, anytime I see a bee, like a physical bee, like an insect bee, that can be like a good reminder for me this year, you know, if I see it. So I like I was just doodling on my page and I drew like little bees. And I was like, bzz, you know, don't think anything of it, whatever. Then we ended up going to this amazing beach. It was more of like a private one, like not too touristy. Although it was really cute seeing families get like their pictures on the tripod. And
so cute, their Christmas card photos.
I still wish we did one, but it's okay. And Rem and I are sitting there, and then I hear her go, oh no, this bee, like let's like save it, because it was stuck in the sand. And I sat there, I was like, oh my God, the bees. I was like, the bees. I was like, Alicia, just be present, be silly, be you, be different,
be yourself.
That's how I ended my journal entry, was with your iconic merch saying,
be silly, be you, be yourself.
Was it be yourself? I thought it was be different.
I don't know. When I leave the room, that's what Cal tells me. If I leave anywhere, I'm like, I'm leaving, bye. He goes,
I'll look
be
on
silly,
my merch.
be yourself.
I still can't believe it's somewhere out there and someone's wearing it.
I know.
I can't believe you donated it. I would have kept it.
I can make another one.
No.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
I can make 100 of them.
You can make different ones, but not it'd be a replica.
Damn.
Not the original. Anyways, I feel like I talked so emo and deep today, but I had an amazing trip.
I did get home last night. Well, we got back to the airport and Cal picked me up.
Iconic.
And I was telling him about our whole dinner, obviously. That's all I talked about pretty much for the whole ride. And then I was like, oh, by the way, like, I know I already told you, but I gave Alicia her ring. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I guess I fully forgot to tell him that I got the ring. So I gave him the whole spiel of how I was nervous through TSA and how I was so nervous to get down on one knee. And I was like, I feel like I know what it feels like to propose. And he's just quiet and he goes, I mean, we both know it's probably a lot more nerve-wracking to actually propose. And I was like, I don't know.
Good job, Cal. There's times I'm like, yeah, Team Remi. And then there's times where I'm like, yeah, Team Cal.
No. How did I know you were going to say that you'd be my best friend forever?
No, you're right. Thank
you.
But that is what he was like, no.
He was quiet. It was quiet for like 3 seconds. And he's like, I think no.
I will say, I can't imagine that, like, traveling with the ring.
I know.
Not the ring.
And being nervous you're going to lose it. Or I love when the girls or whoever gets proposed to are always like, oh my God, they were being so weird that whole day. Like
yes.
it gives them like a little,
yes.
maybe it's happening today.
Oh my God, yes. But yeah, that was our White Lotus influencer, Alisha'S Dirty 30. Honestly, it was so good. I had an amazing time. It was very memorable, and I like won't forget it.
The Alicia experience.
It was, we were 30, flirty, and thriving.
Yes. And I've decided when I turn 30, my caption is going to be Oh my God, I said almost dirty. 30, flirty, unbothered, and thriving.
Iconic. Trademark it now.
I already did.
Oh,
I really did.
So comment below when your birthday is and what your sign is. Are you an Aries? Are you an Aquarius? Are you a Taurus? Are you a Capricorn?
Ooh, keep them
Are you a
coming.
Gemini? Are you a Virgo?
Uh-huh.
Are you a Scorpio?
Oh.
Are you a Sagittarius?
Yes.
Are you a Leo?
Yep.
Are you a Cancer?
Yep.
Am I done?
One more.
Are you a Pisces?
Yes. Good job. That was really good.
Thank you so much. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of Pretty Basic. I love you so much. I'm very thankful and grateful for all of you.
Everyone comment happy birthday to Alicia. And love you guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.